Deep in the heart of the countryside lies the abandoned estate of the Lawson family, shrouded in a sinister aura that repels all but the most daring souls. Shrouded in darkness and whispered tales of horror, it beckons to those who seek answers from beyond the grave. Folklore spoke of the ghostly specter that haunted its halls, a wraith known as Sherry Lawson, forever bound to the house by the blood that stained its floors. The mere mention of her name sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to tread too close, for her presence carried with it an aura of pure, unadulterated evil. As they entered the house, they could feel the energy shift. The air was suffocating with an eerie silence, and the walls seemed to whisper warnings for us to leave. The medium, using her psychic abilities, could feel the presence of Sherry's spirit lurking in the shadows. The group set up their equipment and prepared for the séance to summon Sherry's ghost to find out what happened on that fateful like of the axe murder. The atmosphere in the room grew heavy as they gathered around a candle-lit table in a haunted dark room with a crystal ball. Ready to start, they join hands as the medium begins the incantation to summon Sherry's spirit. Sherry, I invoke thee and command your spirit to appear before us. We know you're here and demand you make your presence known. She repeated the chant over and over. Suddenly the room became ice cold, and an ethereal figure materialized at the head of the table. It was Sherry Lawson, her eyes hollow and empty, and her demeanor a dark, eerie aura of energy. The interview begins, asking how and why she killed her parents, also why she chose to an axe to commit the murders. Each question was met with chilling responses that sent shivers down the investigators' spines. Sherry's voice drips with malice as she recounts the horrors of that fateful night, her eyes ablaze with a dark, sinister aura. She explains that,
while my parents were asleep, I grabbed the axe from the hallway closet. I walked to their room and opened the door. As they slept so peacefully, knowing the horrors they put me through, I began to slaughter them with the axe swinging with all my strength as blood splattered all over the room. They were screaming and begging for mercy. I just couldn't stop until they breathed no more.
The room seemed to grow darker. Creepy shadows began to lurk closer as Sherry's anger manifested in the very air around them. The investigators swallowed hard, realizing they were delving into something far more sinister than they had anticipated. As the interview concluded, the paranormal investigators, shaken by Sherry's chilling revelations, hastily packed up their equipment, eager to leave the oppressive atmosphere of the abandoned estate behind. But in their haste, they realized their grave mistake. They forgot to banish Sherry's spirit back to the depths of hell, leaving her vengeful spirit free to roam and cause havoc. As they made their way towards the exit, a palpable sense of unease hung heavy in the air. Suddenly, a cold gust swept through the room, freezing them in their presence, extinguishing their flickering lanterns and plunging them into darkness. In a flash of chilling realization, the atmosphere turned icy cold, and the faint outline of Sherry materialized before them, her form twisted and contorted with malice. Gripping the blood-stained axe in her spectral hands, the same bloody axe that had claimed her parents' lives now clenched in her spectral hands. Without a word, Sherry descended upon the group, her movements swift and merciless. The investigators screamed in terror as the axe descended upon them, slashing, hacking, and chopping at their bodies with a grotesque fervor. Sherry swung the axe with brutal force, its jagged edge tearing through flesh and bone. The investigators' cries of terror were drowned out by the sickening sound of impact as limbs were severed and bones were cracking as they lay scattered like discarded toys everywhere, and the floor ran slick with the wasted blood of the fallen. Each blow brought back memories of Sherry's heinous crime to her parents, the sickening squelch of flesh meeting steel, mingling with her maniacal laughter. Blood pooled on the floor, painting a macabre evil of horror. But Sherry is not satisfied with mere carnage she just inflicted upon the poor souls. She flings open the door with a quickness letting the pack of vicious and merciless hungry creatures that roam in the backwoods of the property to feast on their flesh and bones, devouring it all, leaving nothing to waste. In the aftermath, only silence remained, broken only by the faint whisper of Sherry's voice, echoing through the empty halls of the estate as she faded back into the darkness from where she came, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable carnage. The portal to the spirit realm remained open, a horrifying reminder of the consequences of meddling with forces beyond human comprehension. And in the end, evil had triumphed, and Sherry's ghost would continue to haunt the estate, waiting for her next victims. The investigator's story had become a viral sensation, spreading terror and fear wherever it went. And with each retelling of the story, the legend of Sherry Lawson, the axe murderer, grew stronger, cementing her place as the epitome of horror and terror.